Vishal sir,
Yes, sir.
very good morning sir. I think we can start sir.
Okay. Yes. Good morning, all. Myself, Vishal Sabde. Uh, last 4 days we are doing the sessions. Day one, we have covered the types of die casting dies, cold chamber, hot chamber, like this. Day two, we have covered the feed system, right? And day three, Pratik has covered very fabulously the construction along with calculation. And day four, he has covered the simulation part, right? Now the day five, we are covering the die casting defects, right? The basics for controlling the defects. You can't correct and control defects without first measuring and reporting them. Means what are the rejection we are getting. The scrap reporting means the rejection, right? That this system must be set up for those who have made the improvements, not just for the front office. This rejection report should be available to everyone in the plant. In fact, it should be posted on the bulletin board so everyone can see it. Right? The daily scrap report, means the rejection report, must have the following features in that. It must be available for first thing in the morning for the previous day. That is, it must be categorized like defect type, part number, die, the by shift, which shift it has happened, who was the operator, which was the machine. Like that, it should be discussed in the morning, because without root cause, we can't take any action on the rejection, right? In the nutshell, I would like to say the defect correction must start with a good rejection report. Developing this system may start with defining names, defects, which means document board with the samples and name of the defects. Bottom line is you can't improve it if 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 you can't measure it. So measuring is a very important part while correction the defects. Now the types of defects. These are the types, that is surface defects on the aluminum die casting specifically. The lamination, gas porosity, blisters, flow porosity, shrinkage porosity, sinks, cracks, soldering, flash. Now we'll see one by one, right? The surface defects. Surface causes of the surface defects. Now this part of the class is about those types of defects that appear on the surface of the casting. These defects are called like cold flow, flow lines, seal, non-fill, lapse, run time, run marks, etc. These are the some pictures of the surface defects. You can see here how it appears on the aluminum die casting. Now, how to the factors which controls the surface defects. That is the wall thickness, casting shape, fill time, flow pattern. That is, flow pattern means the gating design, how the gate is designed. Then the die temperature. Then the metal temperature, the type of alloy, right? And who controls the surface defects? Actually, the first two factors, that what I was talking about, the wall thickness and the casting shape, that was controlled by the part designer, right? Wall thickness is the most critical part, which controls many casting parameters. Requires fill time, requires die temperature, distance, the flow will flow, metal will flow basically, and length of defect free surface that can be made. Good surface quality requires consistent wall thickness. Basically, the designer and the die caster should have focus on reducing heavy sections. Try to make wall thickness constant. The wall thickness and the surface defects, in this, the operating parameters for thin walls are very different than for the thick walls. The operating parameter, whatever we are considering while operating the machine, for thin walls and thick walls, it is a completely different. because thin wall causes the flow to freeze and develop the cold flow quickly. For aluminum and magnesium, typical minimum wall thickness will be about 1.5 mm, right? And for the zinc, the minimum wall thickness would be about 1 mm. This is general fill time required for the change in wall thickness. You can say in the tabular form it has shown, it is here 2 mm to up to 1.5 mm, 25% reduction in fill time. And for 3.5 to 3 mm wall thickness, 12% reduction in fill time, right? Now the die temperature also become a much more critical parameter. In addition to becoming much more sensitive, this very fast filling time in a hot die with a high gate velocity. This is all about thin wall casting I am talking about. The fill time we will talk now. The fill time has a major impact on surface quality. Fill time is defined as the time beginning when the metal first arrives at the gate and ending with the casting, ending with the cavity is full of metal. That is including overflows and vacuum runners. Here in the schematic diagram it has shown from where to where after ingate and casting. This is the time required for the filling of the casting. Yes. The next, now some of the rough guidelines for the aluminum having the thickness less than 2 mm. It requires the time required, it is 0.09 second. For average wall more than 2 mm, it is 1.1 second. Now the temperature ranges for good surface finish. For aluminum, for good surface finish, it should be 250 to 315 degrees Celsius. For average, 190 to 315 degrees Celsius. Similarly, for zinc and magnesium, it is showing. Now it is all about surface defects. Now the next one is the laminations. What is lamination? Lamination has several sources. Usually they are result of metal flow condition. When one flow, what it means, one flow lays on the top of another, layer on layer. That is called as the lamination. Here I have shown the in schematic diagram. You can see here flow path 1 and 2 meet at one junction. How it is happening the lamination over here. There is a cold flow line here it is showing. Flow 1, flow 2, this is the die surface. How it is happening, flow 3. Correction of this kind of lamination is to correct the process conditions, that is getting design, that is flow pattern. It can be avoided. How? What I am meant to say, placing of the gate design, it matters more. That is gate location. Again the gate velocity, fill time, die temperature and metal temperature. These are the factors which decides the lamination defects. These layers can come from the way the metal flows inside the casting, which may due to geometry of the casting. Because of obstacles in the geometry, it may happen because of that also. How to control that? Decrease the fill time, increase the die temperature, increase the metal temperature if possible, changing the gate velocity either up or down. These are the parameters we have to decide in the simulation as well as or in the while taking the trial on the machine. That factors we have to consider. That can be covered within the from 1 to 50 shots in the while taking the trial on the machine. Within the 50 shot, we have to correct all these parameters. We have to set it down over there on that machine. Generally, changing fill time is the best. Filling time is the major part affects on the lamination defects, right? Corrections include those activities that reduces the flashes also, cleaning the die between shot, not postponing die repairs, use good process design to select appropriate metal pressure. Metal pressure is also a very important factor for this. Proper adjustment of an intensifier setting, right? Now the engineering the die cooling to keep die expansion as even as possible. Now the next defect, that is porosity. Everyone has heard about the porosity because porosity is a very common defects observed in the die casting die, high pressure die casting die, right? The porosity is the biggest problem in the die casting. Basically, there are two types of porosity. That is, first is sinkage porosity, second is the gas porosity. It is critical that who was responsible for solving defect determine the kind of porosity before trying to correct it. We'll see one by one. First time we'll see the porosity, gas porosity. We will see first. Gas porosity is the biggest single problem in the die casting. Again, this gas content prevents the heat treating or welding and makes the strength unpredictable. In the gas porosity, how to understand about the gas porosity? There are three major sources of gas porosity for die casting, right? One is the trapped air, steam, and gas from the lubricant. Means what are the types in that? That is trapped air first. Second is the steam and the gas because of the lubricant whatever provide we while taking the trial on the machine. How to differentiate between gas and the sinkage porosity? Basically, gas porosity is a round and generally smooth, although it can be flattened to some extent by pressure. Means gas porosity is a very smooth one. Smooth bubbles we can found in the casting. I'll show one photo here. Yes, you can see here how the bubbles are here. Smooth one means these are the gas porosity. But it can be happens because of trapped air, because of steam, because of lubricant. Majorly it happens because of these three factors. Now the gas porosity because of trapped air. Any turbulence in the metal movement that allows some air bubbles to be trapped in the metal, that is called as a trapped air. How it happens and why it happens? Basically, air can be trapped in three conditions: in the short sleeve, the getting system, and in the die cavity. Now starting with the short sleeve, right? Now in the short sleeve we can see here how the metal when the metal is poured in the sleeve. Okay. Next, how the metal when we pour the metal in the ladle through ladle in the sleeve. With the help of plunger, it is moved to the getting system. Now the plunger speed matters here. The how we can avoid the air trapping in this area. The next we can see here slow short velocity means how the metal is getting moved in the sleeve, right? Slow short velocity, too slow. If it is very too slow, how it happens there? Here you can see. Now because of when short sleeve is too fast, the air trapping you can see here. Here it is air trapped now, and it is continuous going from gate to casting, and these casting defects called as porosity, that is gas porosity, and that is because of trapped air. Got it? Now the gas porosity, the following settings should be considered important when trying to reduce trapped air. That is pouring rate while pouring in the metal through ladle in the sleeve. Basically, delay time before shot. There are two phases, as yesterday Pratik has explained you regarding the same. Phase 1, phase 2, S1, S2 we call. That is a delay time before shot. How fast you put or how slow. that is matters in the trapping of the air. Slow short acceleration, slow short speed, that matters. Now we have seen the slew part. Now the gating part. Here you can see here the very poor runner design which traps the air. Why? Because in this runner or gate, almost very sharp edges are there. Because of these sharp edges, how the air is trapping, you can see here. How air going. It starts from here like this. So smooth flow from the runner to the casting through gate and the casting radius, we have to provide maximum radius to have the smooth flow of the metal from biscuit to casting. So air trapping can be avoided. Okay. Now in the runner also we can avoid some of the air, trapping air, by reducing the ejector pin height in the runner area. If it is not possible to avoid the air trapping in the runner, in the gate area, some of the shapes are there in that we can't avoid. So this is the one option is there. We can do some small air is there, that trapped air can be get into this ejector pin surface by putting the ejector pin height reducing. Next, the summarized pouring rate as we have discussed just now. Runner area, that is no square corners, no low or high ejector pins like that. Decreasing the runner area in the metal flow path. Cavity, vent location at last place to fill. And the venting location is a very important part while placing for removing the trapped air. That is vent size at right place go to the edge of the die. And vent should be always keep clean. If material is stuck in that, it is not going to help us to remove the air. Now we'll see the gas steam part. So how the steam is the second source of gas porosity. How the steam comes when the metal arrives. How now water is coming on the die surface. How it is coming? There are two ways. First, it is because of a spray. In the every shot, we are putting spray on the water spray on the casting area, on the insert part. And the second thing is the water connection we are providing on the die surface. It should not have any leakage on that. Because of that, the water may come inside the casting area. That is inside the insert surface. And because of that, when hot metal enters in the casting area, that steam porosity can happen. Porosity can happen because of this steam. Right? As I said, that is okay. That is a leaking water lines, dripping overhead spray, leaking hydraulic cylinder. Because of that also it is going to happen. Now we can see steam porosity tends to be either a few large bubbles or a group of small bubbles, right? If it is from a water line leak, the bubbles may always congregate in about the same location. Now this is the checklist to reduce the gas porosity from the steam. Too much water-based dye lubricants on the die. The die must be dry as it closes. Means that water should be vaporized as fast as it should be. Leaking water lines. Avoid the leaking of the water lines. Leaking water pipe connections. This is a maintenance part, but we have to take care of that. Crack in the die due to water line. Yesterday what Pratik also shared, that placing of the water lines and the spot cooling, it may affect like this. If the crack happens in that, the water may come from that crack into the insert area. Spray dipping on the die at it closes. Now the third source of gas porosity is the lubricant. The lubricant used for the die, that is, we can lubricant means secondly we can say that the die coating. That die coating can be applied on the dies as well as on plunger, and this can generate when the heated by the incoming metal. This gas is like a steam. It is only formed when the metal arrives. So it is not possible to force most of the gas out of the vents over the metal flow. The biggest single lubricant source of gas porosity is the plunger lubricant. When we put the usual problem is that the lubricant is applied in front of the plunger, much heavier than it is needed. It depends upon the operator basically, how the lubricant he is applying on the plunger face. It is more, then it will again create a problem. This is especially true when a dragging or worn out tips nurse along the extra lubricant. Checklist for the action of gas porosity from lubricants. Check the amount of plunger lubricant. Reduce the die spray lubricant. Look for the pockets where the lubricant can accumulate. Means many die designs are such like that. Many pockets are shaped depending upon the shape, that lubricant can sit in that cavity area. It should be removed. That is, operator has to take care of that. Now this is all about the gas porosity. Now the blisters. This is one of the type of gas porosity again. The gas just happens to be near the surface of the casting. The trapped gas is under high pressure at the end of the field, and the metal may shrink and squeeze it more. When the casting is taken off the die surface is no longer there to hold the casting shape. The pressure from the trapped gas is able to push up to a blister. Here is the image you can see here, how it is happening. Same for the blisters also. Reduce the trapped air, reduce spray plunger lubricant. Means for these the blisters, trapped air, that is plunger, spray, all these are the main important things. Element water on the die, venting, cooling of the casting immediately after ejection by quenching the water. Now the second is we have seen the gas porosity. Now the types of gas porosity we have seen. Now the shrinkage porosity. Shrinkage, where shrinkage porosity happens. Basically, as yesterday Pratik also had discussed regarding in the simulation part also, wherever the part thickness is more, in that shrinkage porosity happens. Because it develops because the metal occupies less space when solid than it did when it was liquid. Since the location of the shrinkage porosity is also the hottest spot in that section of the casting, it is usually in the center of the heavy sections. Means where it is observed, wherever the heavy wall thickness is there, in that at the center of that section, the shrinkage porosity is observed. Hot spots location can be controlled by some extent by die temperature. Means here we can say we cannot, at some of the time we cannot avoid that shrinkage porosity, but it can be moved by keeping the die temperature. How it can be done? Suppose an even casting temperature will cause the porosity to spread out and to be roughly on the center of the line. Here we can see From here it is a gate, here it is a warm phase, it is a center line of the porosity, and it is a warm portion. Now, here we can see, and here we are putting the spray on this. How that shrinkage porosity is moving towards gate side. Now, why it is required and how it is mandatory to do this? Because some of the casting, that is a leakage testing casting, that is required in the engine casting. Many times it is not possible to remove that shrinkage porosity because of wall thickness, but it can be moved. Wherever the machining is there, suppose one hole is there, and there afterwards, after removing the casting from the die, we need to do the machining over there. When we drilling in that area, that porosity should not be there. The shrinkage porosity should not be there in that machining area. So we have to find out if it is happening over there. We have to put the cooling spray over there so that that shrinkage porosity can be moved from the machining area. Are you getting my point? The spray and water line keep one end of the casting cold. The gate keeps the other end hot, right? Now the reverse we can see how it can be shifted. If I am putting the spray near to the cold zone here, then shrinkage porosity is going to other side. Now the shrinkage porosity, note that temperature that affect the location of the shrink porosity are inside the casting itself. The die temperature will influence the internal casting temperature, but they are not always effective in controlling it completely. Shrink porosity in a heavy section will be harder to move. Shrink porosity in thin section will be relatively easy to move, basically. Now, just previous slide we have discussed that how the gas porosity look like, how to differentiate the gas porosity and the shrinkage porosity. In the gas porosity, the shape is round and smooth one. And in the shrinkage porosity, we can see the shape. So how you differentiate between the gas porosity and the shrinkage porosity? These are the shrinkage porosity you can see in the casting. And we have to check with the magnifying glass itself by taking the section of the casting, right? Now, shrinkage porosity can be reduced with the metal pressure. Shrinkage porosity can be reduced with metal pressure. Die casting is a high pressure process. One of the main reasons for die casting machines use high pressure is to reduce shrinkage porosity. By increasing the high pressure, that shrinkage porosity can be avoided. For this, we can put the vacuum unit also. The pressure can fill some of the voids as they develop, but the time and the temperature are critical and very hard to control, basically. Corrective action for the shrink porosity. Check the process design for appropriate metal pressure, both static pressure as well as intensified pressure. The plunger size and the size in the sense diameter. Plunger diameter plays very important role in this. Plunger tip, sleeve condition. Check the biscuit thickness. Thickness of that biscuit also very important, and its value should be always 25 to 30 mm at least, not more than that, because it not apply the intensification pressure on this casting there. Shrinkage porosity. Now, if possible, move the gate close to the problem area. The shrinkage porosity can be avoided. So, as we discussed, that we have to try to put the gate where the wall thickness is more in the component while starting the die design itself. One more option is there, squeeze pins to add the pressure on the casting after the gate is frozen. Squeeze pins are very also effective on leaker problems. Leakers are discussed later. I will discuss on that also. Hot chamber machine have similar problem. Mostly they have a metal leaking by the plunger. Okay, try to run too close to machine capacity in hot chambers. Now the next is the sink. Sink defects. Sinks means surface depression are the form of a sink. This is the form of a sink porosity basically. Sink forms when the sink porosity is close to the surface. Right? The sinkage porosity at the center, that is different. When it forms on the surface, near to the surface, that is called as sink. As it pulls the thin skin on the die surface towards itself. The sink porosity is close to the surface because the surface of the casting is the hottest point at that area of the casting. Basically, here we can see. This is the porosity near to the surface. And it is typically have a section that heavy enough to say the gate is frozen before the area with the sink porosity. Here we can see that casting skin, die surface, skin forming, sink porosity, like that. Eventually, the casting solidifies with the sink in the surface. The clue that the spot is getting hot and the sink might form in a when the surface of the casting start to get rough and frosty in appearance. The operator should notice this condition and start spray on that area specific. Then it can be avoided with the spraying also. That at that time operator has to see that. What is needed is a change in temperature balance between the hot and cold area. For this, now we can see a rough surface on a frying pan that would develop a sinks. The operator had to learn to spray the smooth surface to eliminate this problem. Right. In this part, in sinkage type, operator plays very important role in that. Here we can see sink mark. Now the next, it is a crack in the casting. How it happens? Shrinkage crack on the surface occur during solidification and have a dark surface. Cool the corners or heat up the adjacent area. So we have to add the radius to the corner for this type of the cracks. Means this we have to decide while the start of the design itself. Many things. Try to avoid sharp corners in that. The mechanical stresses can cause cracks when the die opens or the casting ejects during the sliding operation. Many times what happens while ejection also crack happens because of not to providing the even ejection positions. If one side casting is ejecting and second time less ejector pins are there, because of that also the cracking of the casting happens while opening the die and ejection. Just this point I have discussed now. Now the one more thing, the next defect, that is soldering. Now what is soldering? Soldering is a phenomenon occurs when the molten aluminum metal enters in the die and come in contact directly to the steel. That is, it can come directly on the core insert or it may come on the core pin. Basically, maximum time soldering happens on the core pins. Now, why it happens? Molten molten annular stream removes the applied surface lubricant film and the iron oxide layer or other coating, then erodes that grain boundaries and pits on the die surface. The surface roughness is also important. A polished die surface will reduce the tendency to form the die solder on zinc, basically. Keep the die temperature low is most important to keep this type of zinc soldering from forming. Draft angle also important in this. Here are some examples showing the how soldering happens, right? Now the next, soldering. The best solution to keeping the die still, cool soldering, not to start there. The next is erosion. Erosion is nothing but the burning out. Erosion and the burnout refer to defects that casting that come from the effects having some die still eroded away. Erosion generally occurs in aluminum, usually where there is a high metal velocity, high steel temperature. Generally, erosion happens in the gate area because in that gate area there is a maximum velocity is there. Where the high metal temperature is there, again the metal velocity is more. So in that area, generally the gate erosion happens in any die. Burnout is a term usually applied on zinc dies and it is mostly result on the cavitation. Okay. Now the next is flash. Flash, you heard. Flash occurs when liquid metal flows into an area of the die where it is not expected, such as the parting line, under a slide, or alongside of an ejection pin. These are the flash you can see here. And how the casting should be. Flash can be almost eliminated by proper attention is applied to tool design and operational factors. Robust die is required. The spotting area, the robust die concept is that is the spotting area should be sufficient to avoid the die flashing. Good thermal balance. If molten metal temperature is too high, more than the requirement, again that happens, leads to flashing. Again, the machine locking. If machine tonnage is not proper, machine platen balancing is not proper. Again, that leads to flashing. Metal pressure and the impact force should be no more than the necessary. Flashing can occur one of the following three reasons. The die and the machine do not work together to seal off the mold cavity. The impact force at the end of the cavity will exceed the clamping force of the machine. Again, the intensification pressure at the end of the cavity exceed the clamping force of the machine. To understand the reason why flashing occurs, you must understand the condition of the machine, the tool, and the force occurring within the machine at the end of the cavity field. The flash summary you can see, the key to minimizing the flash die design, we have to take care of the die design properly, optimizing the process condition, machine maintenance, in the die designing, the die squareness, thermal design, die seal off, centering the part within the die. Means what we can say, die, if the machine selected we have, it is a 660, and that on that die we can't put the smaller die in that. Because of that also the flashing happens. Now the dragging. What is dragging? Dragging is looks similar to the soldering. but it is caused because of the dragging while the ejection of the component. That is called the dragging. Draft angles. How it can be avoided? Draft angles. Sufficient draft angles should be there. Ejection problem such as bending. Ejector pin should be straight. In the maintenance point of view, also we have to check in between also erosion that may have caused an undercut, because when erosion happens on the core pins or in the casting insert area, that erosion means that stucks the casting area on the insert, and because of that again that undercut also happens, right? Okay, thank you. Now any questions?
Yes, is there is any question or I should start? Hello?
Questions are there, sir, on the chat box.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So now it's Pratik Pandey and I will be starting Q&A session. So kindly start putting your questions so we can start discussing. Okay. Yeah. So first question I will be taking is Gujradas Gujraji. If pouring temperature increase due to any reason, what type of defect we can see on component? Sir, if your pouring temperature will get increased by any reason, you will get a heat check marks. Moreover, the temperature will increase by the high velocity as well. So you need to maintain your temperature. The pouring temperature should not increase more than 690 to 700 degrees Celsius. If it is getting higher than that, then the burning of the aluminum material will also produce residual gases, and which will also entrap inside your casting, and those gases will also form a big like impurity inside the casting, which will come it as a sink mark, gas porosities, okay, and sometime non-fill will also create. Okay. Then next question is from Purnachandra Mohanteji. Hello, sir. Your question is, what is the reason of the die surface crack? Yes, sir. As I have told just right now that the heat checks, okay, heat checks is the preliminary stage of the die surface crack. When you are putting excessive velocity material with high temperature impact on any surface, it will start affecting and eroding those surface. The initial erosion will come up with the heat checks, like some check marks will come on the our die surface. When you will put a proper zoom or take some NDT test, you will find a small cracking effect will initiate, and after some 1000 shots it will come up with a bigger crack size. Okay, so the major thing is that the higher velocity and higher temperature on certain region, and sometime if you are if you have put it a irregular cooling pattern also, that thermal impact will become adverse. So always balance your die thermally, and just keep your look on the temperature and the velocity. Okay. Yeah. So next, what is this for surface check? How? Okay, so next is from Devjyoti Thakuria ji. Hello, sir. Your question is, how designer can reduce sink porosity? Sink mark is different thing, porosity is different thing. Both things are not interconnected. Okay, for sink mark you have to work on the cross sectional area and balance those cross sectional area with respect to the appropriate cooling or thermal balancing. Hence, when porosity come in the picture, you have to think about the filling pattern and the high velocity involved in the filling, and you have to just keep on maintaining the lower turbulence behavior inside the die component. Okay. So I think I have answered your question. So I will be going with next question from Raj G. RAJS, Raj G. Maybe sorry if I am pronouncing in wrong way, but Raj G. Okay, your question is: any crack is seen in the casting plate if welding is possible? Sir, it is never suggestible to do any welding when you have find any crack. Okay, because whatever the crack you have got created on your you are asking about crack in seen in casting plate. Casting plate, sir, I am not getting. I am just talking about the die. If you have got any crack on the casting component, definitely you cannot do any welding because it will get failed in the quality test. The second answer for the die, if you are having any crack on the die surface, like hot die steel, if you find any initial crack or the major crack, you need to change the insert only. There is no parallel remedy, because why? Earlier you have done something wrong. The some higher runner impact, higher velocity material impact is coming on that surface. That has to be balanced with a proper runner design, proper gate location. The secondly is the cooling behavior to be properly balanced for the thermal equilibrium. Okay, so these all things will save your die for getting cracked. Okay, so if you will do some this type of secondary work, like do some laser welding and then you will match it again, it will be going to crack. Okay, and it is also not for our customer prospect. Our customer will also not allow you to do such welding operations. So always avoid, always do a good designing, do a good simulation before starting any metal cutting. It is suggestible. Okay, Rajji.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your acknowledgement. Okay, then hi Mahind, Mahindji, good to see you. The question from you is: cold shut defect can be reduced by increasing the pouring temperature or increasing lubrication. Cold shut defect can be reduced by increasing the pouring temperature or increasing lubrication. Second option, increasing lubrication, totally wrong. There is a no means interpretation between increasing the lubrication and cold shut. How we are going to remove it? Definitely wrong. You need not to do any lubrication at the cold shut. If you are putting lubrication, again it is giving a more convection. Okay, so avoid such area. When you are getting a cold shut in any area, means that area need to be provided by a proper heating location. So always target those location with a heating provision. Sometime local heating torch we can also apply from the external side. Okay, or otherwise put a thermal unit at that location. Okay, second thing. The third thing is that keep on putting the shots without any cooling, so it will increase your overall die temperature. So definitely you will get improve in your cold shot location. Maybe put some overflow nearby. Okay, so it will create a heat reservoir. Due to that, our cold shot problem will get resolved. Okay, Mahendra. Yeah, okay. Okay, so the next question is from
Yes, sir. Okay.
Sandeep Nirmaleji. Hello. So your question is how to avoid a ejection mark on casting to avoid secondary operation. Sir, if anywhere if we are putting a secondary media, like our die insert is a primary media, the secondary media is the local insert, core pin, ejector pin. So always just think about, you have to provide a proper fitment and always do a proper QC before any assembly activity. So when you will start taking a casting, right, so definitely you will get some small parting on the ejector pin face, but that is totally acceptable from the customer, because wherever we are going to provide the ejector pin, that positions had been properly approved by the customer. So it is always desirable that there is will be a small protrusions will come. For such type of thing, if you will put the casting means post processing, there will be a vibro, so everything will be get washed out, so you will get a proper casting. Okay, Sandeep ji, is it good for you? Okay, I think he is not. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so the next question is from Subodh Kumar ji. Can we do heat treatment for DCD, and which type of heat treatment we do? Does it can reduce any kind of defect and remedies? Yes, Subodh Kumar ji. Day before yesterday, I have told you what type of material what we can use, the what type of heat treatment we can use, what are the HRC which is involved with respect to the dye tonnage consideration. So better you refer that, you will get all these question answered. Okay. And does it can induce any kind of defect and remedies? Yes, definitely, definitely. And in high pressure die casting, you cannot move forward without heat treatment. Okay. And in some of the cases, you also come up with the coatings. There will be a different type of coating available in the market on the die surface. So sometime if the surface finish is requirement is quite precise, we have to go for the extra coating on the surface. Yes, I think I have answered for you. It is good for you, Sabur. Yeah, thank you. So any other questions? I think this is the last question which I am answering.
One more question has come, sir.
Yes, from IDTR friends. Yes, hello team. What should be the cooling temperature of aluminum material? Sir, cooling, if aluminum material is in consideration, aluminum material liquidus temperature start from 590 degrees Celsius onward. The furnace, the secondary furnace beside our high pressure die casting die machine, there we are maintaining moreover the 110 to 115 degrees Celsius. The material inside the furnace, it is around 700 to 705 degrees Celsius, and it is always desirable to pour material around 690 to 700 from your ladle. Okay, if someone is having an auto dozer, so auto dozer will be having a lower temperature deflections. Okay, and if the cooling line is concerned, what the cooling line we are putting inside our die, so it is desirable to have a 25 degree to 30 degrees Celsius of the cooling line temperature what we are putting, and there should be a proper cooling temple outside the machine. Okay, so the cooling temperature can be maintained and the water can be purified for the scaling purpose. So I think and that will be good for IDTR team. You have got your answer. Okay.
Sir, I have a question, Mahendra Patel. Sir.
Mahendra ji, tell me.
Sir, I am using cold chamber machine. So and material for that aluminum. Okay. Right. So aluminum I'm melting it into a furnace from where I am taking to our cold chamber machines. Okay.
Okay.
So when I'm taking, then some sort of oxidation of aluminum will take place very quickly. So above layer of a molten metal has oxidized. So what can I do about it if this type of defect will mainly generated in cold chamber?
By what media you are transferring the material from the furnace to the sleeve? Tell me what is the media that you are using.
Okay, so if I specify atmospheric condition over there. So
no, atmospheric condition is good, man. What the media that you are using to transfer the material from the furnace to the sleeve?
Through crucible mainly.
Yes, that crucible should have a proper layering of deoxidized agents. Okay, there is a deoxidized agent layer on the crucible or on the ladle. So that has to be have. So if you are pouring material by that crucible, you will be not having as such layers.
If any chance, means I'm thinking.
No chance, boss. By taking you need not to put your furnace afar from your machine. That furnace to be side by to your machine. So always it will be a 2 to 3 second lag only, and that 2 to 3 second lag will be addressed by 10 degrees Celsius depreciation. Okay, so there will be no as such layer forming because we are putting a deoxidized agent on the crucible. We will be sharing some of the real-time videos. So there you will find that the crucible will not have a as such layer. Such layer will be forming in the furnace. So for that we are putting the deoxidizing tablets and degassing instrument are there with the furnace for the degassing and deoxidizing.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, so it is okay for you, Mahendra ji?
Yes, sir. Okay, it's okay.
Yeah, perfect. So is there any other questions from the team?
Hello.
Yes, Siddharth ji.
हाँ हाँ प्रतीक जी, एक्चुअली काल यस्टरडे जो डिस्कशन हो रहा था उसमें आपने जो बता रहे थे जो हॉट ऑयल जो माने टेम्परेचर कंट्रोलर के थ्रू में जो चलाने के लिए
Yes, 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 yes.
to maintain the die temperature about suppose 250-degree temperature,
Okay.
तो देन हम तो हॉट ऑयल चलाएंगे 250 डिग्री टेम्परेचर मेंटेन करने के लिए डाई का, तो फिर हमको वाटर कूलिंग भी अलग से देना पड़ेगा क्या?
Definitely no.
हाँ, तो वही वही अभी जो जस्ट पूछे थे ना, जो एल्यूमिनियम में मटेरियल कूलिंग के लिए क्या टेम्परेचर रखना
No,
चाहिए?
boss. Yesterday also I have explained that when we are using any oil heating unit, oil thermoregulation, we will not say it as a only heating. It is a heating cooling unit. When your
Right.
oil temperature is just say around 210 degrees Celsius and your die temperature is rising more than 210 degrees Celsius, then your this oil media will behave like a cooling agent. Okay, it will keep on reducing your die temperature from some instant of temperature like 230 to 210 degrees Celsius. Okay, when your die temperature is lower than 210 degrees Celsius, then this oil media will behave is like a heating agent. Okay, so always it is a thermoregulation unit. It will maintain the thermal equilibrium inside the die, sir.
That means in the die casting for aluminum material, if you want to maintain the die temperature about 250 or 210 degree temperature,
210 is the desirable. Don't go around 250 because 250 units temperature which are coming with the 250 units, those are quite huge, costly, and you will find India only 2-3 places do those type of units. Okay, so it is always suggestible from us that only suggest up to 200 to 210 degrees. Okay, don't go beyond because the customers need to have as such good units, right?
okay, yeah.
Yes, so now it is clear for you, Siddharth ji.
That means we have to go by the hot oil system. That
Yes.
the temperature controller will be there. MTC
Yes.
is which one?
Yes,
So through that we will maintain the die temperature actually.
definitely.
So it will be acting as a cooling as well as sometime it will actually act as heating also.
Perfect. You have got the right way.
So that means no water cooling.
No, sir.
So okay, right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, is there any other question? Support. Is there is other question? So we will continue. We will stop today's meeting.
Yes, sir. There are no questions.
Okay, so I hope IGTR Aurangabad has given a lot of good studies what we have got until yet, our good experience from the field, all the good calculations, the simulations. There are a lot many things that we have shared, and we are just expecting same from you that we will be continuing conversation for the same in future as well. Kindly implement our knowledge in your requirements and just hassle free call anytime. You have my number, you can call me anytime for any type of suggestion, help, design related things, right? Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
thank you, Pratik sir. So many inputs you have given because we have the slight bit knowledge in die casting. Now, yesterday night also after learning from you that PQ square, so
Yes.
I was studying actually.
Sir, IGTR Aurangabad is always with you all, and our all TCs are like us only, and we want all of us you on the same platform. Okay, so whatever it will take max from our side, we will be there for you, sir.
yeah.
Anytime, at any condition, sir.
Yes, sir. So, sir, my request is to please provide the PPTs actually.
Definitely, sir. We are going to give all the study material as it is. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
Or if any doubt I have in the PQ square curve, I will talk to you.
Anytime. Come up with the call. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So thank you all for being with us in such a good journey towards die casting die, and again it will be so many sessions for the plastic mold, press tool, and jig and fixture. So we will be there with the other good guidance from different TCs. Yes. So thank you once again to all of the respected dignitaries, friends, and the colleagues. Thank you for your valuable time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
I thank all the participants. Tomorrow there is no session. Next session is on Monday at 11 a.m. Thank you. Shall we end the session, sir? Pratik, sir?